Lawmakers, city councilors, and train experts met on Friday to discuss reforms for the Taiwan Railways Administration after last week's fatal crash of the Taroko Express. One expert said that difficulties in coordinating different departments within the TRA have long been an obstacle to reform. He called for stronger government intervention. Another expert suggested swapping trains that normally run along the East Coast with those that run along the West Coast for safer and faster travels. Suggestions were also made for reducing the number of train stations, which are seen as a cause of delays and staff shortages.
Lawmakers, councilors, and transport experts hold a moment of silence for the victims of the Taroko Express crash. Reforming TRA cannot be delayed any longer, they say.
The reason there is a delay in making any kind of improvement of the TRA is that it's very difficult to coordinate drivers, mechanics, engineers, and operators. The executive yuan must establish a task force or committee to oversee TRA reform.
Last year, the TRA tallied 58 accidents and 572 train malfunction reports involving moving trains. To lower the rate of incidents, the TRA Workers' Union suggested swapping trains between the eastern and western trunk lines. It argues that this would also make the system more competitive.
High-capacity trains could be moved to the eastern trunk line, and the rest can go on the western trunk line. The tracks on the western trunk line are straighter, so you have straighter lines combined with the fact that these trains, both Puyumas and Tarokos, can reach speeds of 160 kilometers per hour. Of course, we wouldn't operate them that fast.
The union suggests moving Puyuma and Taroko models to the western trunk line. It says that their lower capacity of 372 passengers would be made up for by shorter travel times, less than 3 hours from Taipei to Kaohsiung. Tickets would only cost 843 NT for the trip, making it a more economical option than the high-speed rail. Meanwhile, if the older Ziqiang trains are used on the eastern trunk line, their slower speeds would be made up for by better adaptability to curves on the tracks. They would also double passenger capacity, solving the problem of sold-out tickets during holidays. The union also pointed out that the high number of stations and trains could be to blame for the TRA's frequent incidents, including the deadly derailment of the Puyuma Express in 2018.
The government has added many new stations, which is truly a waste of the country's resources. Why does the TRA frequently experience train delays? It's because there are so many trains on the tracks at the same time. The Puyuma derailment happened because the driver was trying to avoid being late and exceeded the speed limit.
The TRA continues to add stations, but it lacks the manpower to keep the system running smoothly. It appears that the road to reforming the TRA will be a long one.